So, Captain America Brave New World is not only the latest installment of the MCU, the 35th film of the MCU, but it is also the latest Captain America film. Well, it's also the 5th film of Phase 5 of the MCU. In the film, we follow Sam Wilson, Captain America portrayed by Anthony Mackie, who after an incident in the White House involving him, a friend of his, and Thunderbolt Ross, who in this film is portrayed by Harrison Ford, Sam Wilson finds himself at the center of an international incident, and he must work to stop the true masterminds behind this incident. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say, welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button to do not miss a feature video. It's a feature review, reaction, top 5, top 10, or whatever I've coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not going to miss the cool stuff I have coming your way. And for those of you who are coming back to my channel, by the way, welcome back, everybody. You have no idea how happy I am to see your faces once again. And let's start our conversation below as well. Are you guys excited for Captain America Brave New World? What are your expectations for the film? Are you very low in your expectations? Are you very high in your expectations for the film? Let me know below. One more thing that I must say, this review, this video will contain no spoilers, so if you're worried that I'll spoil a single thing, do not worry. This will be a completely spoiler-free video, spoiler-free review. You are safe with me. Nothing to worry. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into Captain America Brave New World.
Excellent!
When it comes to Captain America Brave New World, this was a movie that I was admittedly more nervous for than I was excited for. Captain America Brave New World was one of those films that once it was announced for the MCU, I just had a very meh reaction to the announcement, especially after the ending of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which, to be fair, is a show that I overall like, but how the show ended, and after I once again heard the announcement of a new Captain America movie, I was just not the most excited about it. As I was thinking, see how this one plays out. And that trailer, when it first came out, didn't really excite me all that much either, especially, and here is when I got the most nervous, the amount of times that this film had been reshot or went back for reshoots. As far as I'm aware, guys, this movie had gone in 4 times for reshots, and I think at a certain point they reshot quite a bit of the film. Just going into this movie, I was very nervous, I was scared, but most of all, I was worried. But guys, I am very happy to say that I really dug Captain America Brave New World. Like, this movie was a lot better than I thought it would be. Anthony Mackie was great as Sam Wilson in Captain America in this film. One of my favorite aspects about Sam Wilson in this film is relationships that he has with not only Danny Ramirez's character, but also with Isaiah's character portrayed by Carl Lumbide. The relationships and the chemistry that Sam Wilson, that Anthony Mackie has with all the characters in this movie, I thought was really well done. There is a great sequence in particular, guys, and once again, no spoilers here. This sequence, and the moment it ended, I immediately thought, you know what, Sam? Steve would be so proud of you for how you handled yourself there. Oh my god, did Steve make the right choice? Anthony Mackie did so darn good in this film, and how great he does in this movie makes me very excited to see where he goes as Sam Wilson in the future of the MCU. Like, I am really excited for what this character does and what Anthony Mackie does further as his character in the MCU. Like, I'm really excited for Sam Wilson as Captain America, and I'm excited for Anthony Mackie as well. I need to talk about Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross, because oh my god, is Harrison Ford so freaking good in this film. Really quick, and before I continue on and say anything else, I want to take a quick moment and say RIP to William Hurt, who did an amazing job as Thunderbolt Ross, going from Incredible Hulk all the way up to Endgame, because he did a great job portraying this character. There are so many bits in this movie. Seeing Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross, I was only just thinking, God, William Hurt would have crushed it in this. He would have eating this up. Harrison Ford, this movie, does such a great job as Thunderbolt Ross. They do a certain thing as well, and to how Harrison Ford is introduced as Thunderbolt Ross, which I thought was actually a pretty clever way into him coming into the MCU after what happened to William Hurt. There are sequences in this movie where he is just eating up that screen like candy, like a cake. There is a particular sequence with Harrison Ford in this movie. So freaking good. Something else in particular that I gotta talk about, and a thing that I really liked about this movie a lot, was Julius Onah's direction. And by the way, I like to apologize if I butcher his name, because I thought he did a really good job, if not a pretty freaking good job, directing and executing what he wanted for this movie. Something else in particular that is very obvious is that this movie is trying to go back to the boots on ground feel, that raw feel of Winter Soldier. And speaking of which, I will say this much. Does the movie accomplish getting back to that feel of the Winter Soldier? Yes, but also no. Something that I thought this movie did very, very well is how this movie is shot, going back to that boots on the ground feel. This movie has such a cool look to it, and how this movie frames up sequences, in particular the dialogue exchanges and some of the wide shots. Kramer Moore gone through, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering this man's name, but he is a great director of photography, a great DP, and something else in particular that I really like about this movie was, at least to me, I don't know how you guys felt while watching this movie, but this is just how I felt. This movie gave me more of what I wanted out of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, just to be clear with you guys and answer really quick, is this movie essentially an extended episode of that show, or an epilogue for the show? To me, it didn't feel that way. Captain America Brave New World, well, sure, it gave me more what I've wanted out of that show, absolutely, but more than anything else, this more felt like a standalone movie within the MCU that just gave me more thematically what I wanted out of the show, the storytelling, the pacing, some of the action of the show. While the movie is most definitely a continuation of that show, and that brings me to something else that I gotta talk about really quick, and that is this. Do I have to watch, or do you have to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier to understand what's happening in this movie? No, I don't think you have to watch the entire show to know what happens, because what this movie does so well is that it does reference the show and references other movies within the MCU just enough so you're not falling far behind. Because here's the thing, guys, and let's be real here. We're about 35 movies into this thing, and I can guarantee you're not gonna watch, well, then again, I don't know you guys, so I don't know how you guys are gonna prepare and how you're gonna pregame for this movie, but at least for me, guys, does it help in some ways? Sure, it probably does. But with that being said, guys, do I think that you absolutely must have to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier to understand what's going on in this movie? I don't personally feel that. It's a movie that I think stands alone on its own, that does reference events that happened in the show and other MCU films, but it's a movie that doesn't require, at least I don't think it's a movie that requires you to watch other things to understand every single plot that's happening in this movie. The action sequences in this movie I thought were very well done, and there are definitely some hard hits that definitely caused me an audible reaction on mine. There is a fight sequence in this movie that I thought, to say the least, was bad ass. Captain America Brave New World is almost 2 hours long, but I gotta tell you all, I was bored, I was on the edge of my seat, I was hooked into the story, I was sucked in. It was never boring one time. As a matter of fact, it had a great pacing to it. I thought this movie did go along at a really well done pace.
Well, that's just fucking great!
But, and unfortunately, this movie does have a fair share, and I mean a fair share of issues. First of which, starting with this, the CG. There were multiple, and I mean there were multiple shots of the VFX, in particular, where the green screen was so noticeable. Like, guys, here's the thing. I know that my green screen is very noticeable. I mean, I'm not gonna deny that this green screen right behind me is very freaking noticeable. But holy crap, guys. There were sequences in this movie where you can obviously tell that Anthony Mackie or Harrison Ford are standing right in front of a green screen. Like, it is so obvious. And it's even more noticeable, by the way, in the IMAX sequences and the IMAX ratio, because here's the thing, guys. For those of you who haven't seen an IMAX movie or sequences that are shot in IMAX, IMAX cameras showcase something very, very clear and very, very sharp, so things definitely stand out a lot more. But unfortunately, and do not get me wrong, this movie, while it is a damn good time in IMAX, it absolutely is. The sequences that are shot in IMAX make those shoddy VFX shots and the green screen shots that are very noticeable only stand out like such an ugly sore thumb. Like, I cannot believe that while they were editing this movie together, that they didn't say, yeah, that needs a couple of passes, that does not look good. Is this movie budgeted at $180 million? You think that quite a bit of that money would go towards the visual effects? Because man, there are sequences in this movie, in fact there are full shots in this movie that do not look good. There is an action sequence that is otherwise a cool action sequence that just... that because of the VFX and the VFX not looking good, especially in this sequence, that broke the immersion of what was really a good action sequence. But man, the VFX in the sequence definitely broke my immersion more than a couple of times. The humor in this movie really for the most part was so just... it hit like a thud. There are definitely a couple of sequences where I laughed really, really hard. Like, I laughed my ass off on a couple of sequences. But oh man, guys, there are more than a few times the humor tried to hit and it just went. Tim Blake Nelson, as you guys have seen in the trailers, does play a villain. I love Tim Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson is a phenomenal actor, but not only is he underused, but in the parts where he is used, there are some times where, my god, he just overcooks it. Like, guys, there is a part in this movie in which, no joke, I was just thinking, wow, they actually circled that take. That's bad. Not to mention as well, Giancarlo Esposito, who, by the way, another phenomenal actor. I absolutely love him. Not saying that he's bad in this movie, because he's not bad in the movie at all. But I will say this, is he underutilized? Abso-freaking-lutely he is.
Here we go.
So overall, Captain America Brave New World is a damn good MCU film. It feels like the MCU is trying to get back on track, and this is coming from a guy, by the way, who enjoyed Phase 4 more than most people did. While Anthony Mackie is great, it's Harrison Ford that steals every single scene that he is in. Does this movie have its fair share of issues? Absolutely yes. But altogether, it is a damn good flick. All in all, I'm gonna give Captain America Brave New World a 3.75 out of 5. A damn good MCU flick, and yes, in case you guys are wondering, stay for the credits. That's all I'm gonna say. Stay for the credits. I hope you enjoyed my review of Captain America Brave New World. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike the review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous 2 videos, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I'll see you all next time.